What's up guys, Sonny the Badger here. So have you ever asked yourself, what is the rarest Harley Davidson ever produced? Well, I did a little investigating and here are the top 5 lowest produced Harley Davidson Fatboys I have found. Okay guys, so if you're a Fat Boy fanatic like I am and you love just the iconic look and the history and the story of Fat Boy, then you probably found yourself asking the same question. I wonder what the rarest, most collectible Harley Davidson Fatboys are. And so I had to do a lot of digging to see different production numbers. And honestly, I was pretty shocked. As you guys know, the Fat Boy was designed by Willie G himself. So it was iconic from the very beginning. They released the first one in 1990. It is lovingly called the Gray Ghost, and it is a all gray motorcycle, as you'll see here. It has some yellow accents around the heads, and that was the only color that they came out with that year. And there is a whole myth and folklore to that original Fat Boy, where the Fat Boy got its name, and why it's gray with the yellow stripes, and it ties back to World War II, it ties back to the atomic bombs, and honestly guys, whether it's true or not, Harley Davidson is never, ever gonna admit that that is why they named it that. So it'll always be a mystery to all of us, but you know, what a great story, right, to tell. And then shortly after it came out, it became probably the most famous Harley Davidson out there when it was in Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the time-traveling robot, arrives, and the first thing he does is he gets some biker clothing and takes off on a Harley Davidson Fat Boy, and that bike will be iconic for sure. And I'm pretty positive it is the most valuable Harley Davidson Fat Boy out there. I did look it up. In 2018 was the last thing I heard about it, and it sold for $480,000. So some collectors got that bike from the movie. It only had like 300 miles on it. So it's just a, you know, it's pretty much a movie prop at this point. Nobody's ever going to take that thing out and actually ride it. So let's get to the subject at hand today. The 5 rarest Harley Davidsons. And when I mean rare, I don't mean hardest to find, although I imagine they are hard to find. I'm looking at purely production numbers from the factory. Okay guys, I'm gonna work these backwards. So number 5 on my list is the 15th anniversary Harley Davidson Fat Boy in silver. They made 2 that year. They made silver and they made black. And these came with a 95 instead of an 88. And they also came with gold badging. And that was, like I said, in 2005. And they ended up making 2,755 of these bikes. So I mean, you think about that. That's all of these bikes that were produced and put out into the world. So if you got one of those, I would say you've got a pretty rare bike. Number 4. The number 4 rarest production number Harley Davidson that I could find was the 2020 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. Yep, you heard me. It's the 30th anniversary edition. And if you've ever seen this bike, it is a beautiful bike. All blacked out, the tank is numbered, and it definitely stands out in a crowd. Number 3. So the number 3 rarest Harley Davidson I found was the 2005 anniversary edition Fat Boy in black. So as I said earlier, they made the silver. The silver one was number 5 on my list. The black one is number 3. The black one also has the gold badging, the 95 instead of the 88. And they only made 1,790 of these bikes. So again, if you've got one of these, it's another one of those rare birds. All right, number 2. Number 2 was not even on my radar when I started looking into this. I had forgot all about it. I hadn't even thought about it. But it is the 110th anniversary Harley Davidson Fat Boy Low. So it's a 2013. It had a very distinct paint scheme. Also had a unique tank emblem. I believe these were also numbered as well, but I have not been able to confirm that. But I do believe the tank on these was numbered as well. But that is number 2. And like I said, it really wasn't even on my list. All right, guys, and drum roll, please. So the number 1 rarest bike that Harley Davidson produced is actually a twin sister to that red one and that silver one sitting here. So it was the Cobalt Blue 2005 CVO Fat Boy. I only included the one blue CVO Fat Boy in the mix because they do make a red version and a silver version. And, you know, if you wanted to, you could throw all of those together. If you did, it would still make this top 5 list. So would the 2006 CVO Fat Boy as well. I just didn't want to list out all of them and then take up like the top 6 places. So I chose one, and that is the Cobalt Blue. They only made like 858. Let me look at that to be for sure. I was right. So they made 858 of the 2005 CVO Fat Boy in Cobalt Blue. And those of you that know the bike know it came chromed from head to toe. It has the 103, and they're just beautiful bikes. That's the reason I own a couple of them. And I really want the blue one so I can complete my set. I just have not been able to talk Mama Badger into that being like a good idea. So if you see Mama Badger, be sure and tell her that Sonny needs the blue one as well. The other thing I wanted to mention is everybody has always told me that the rarest is the Gray Ghost, the 1990 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. When I looked it up, they actually made 4,440 of those Gray Ghosts. So as you can see, it's a considerably higher number than most of the ones on my list here. So even though it's probably in the top 10 rarest, it is still not where I thought it would be. I honestly thought that that would end up being the number 1 as far as production numbers go. Now, on the flip side of that, it very well could be the hardest one to buy, the hardest one to find. I have not figured out a way yet to measure that part to see what one's the hardest to get your hands on and to own. I've seen some Gray Ghosts out there for sale. I've seen the blue 2005 CVO, the red, the silver. I mean, I've seen all these bikes for sale, so you can still get your hands on them. In fact, Bert's Black Widow had the 30th anniversary on their showroom floor, not even a couple of weeks ago. So there's always that. The other thing is, I didn't know whether to include the paint sets. So I didn't include them because that model bike came out that year with all these different, you know, black, red, white, whatever. And then they had paint schemes that you could buy and put on the bike. So the only thing that, for me, that was really rare for that would be the actual tins. So the front fender, the rear fender, and the gas tank. And I'm not sure I consider that a rare motorcycle, although that paint scheme is rare. You could take it and move it from year to year, from bike to bike, and it doesn't really change the value or the way you look at that bike. So that's why I didn't choose the paint sets, although there are some really cool paint sets out there that can really set your bike apart from all the other Harley Davidson Fat Boys. All right, guys, that's it for today. I just thought that was an interesting subject. I had always wanted to know, so I did the research and I wanted to tell you about it. If you guys are fans of the Fat Boy, like I am, and you like videos like this, please, guys, hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell icon if you'd like to be notified every Friday when I upload a new video. You can leave me your comments below. I really want your comments on this one. I want to know what you think. And if you found something that goes against what I found, I want to know about it. That's the part of the history. It's not hugely readily available, right? So we kind of have to do some digging, and there may be stuff out there that I have not heard of, have not found out, and I would love to know about that. So guys, if you have something that you know of that's rare, please put it in the comments below. And of course, guys, share it with your friends. And remember, it's not about the destination. It's all about the ride. We'll see you next Friday.